Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up. So I am back after my holiday to Portugal. We got back last Sunday, had a wonderful time. It was so hot and yeah, we had a really lovely relaxing week. Yeah, it was great, and I thought I would jump on today to talk you through my holiday makes, because my last vlog, I think it was, or the vlog before, I chatted about what I had planned to make for my Portugal trip, and I thought I would come back to show you what I made, what I wore out of what I made, and how it worked for me, and thought you might be interested in that. So we'll get straight into it and we'll start with what I am wearing. So if you remember, I said I was going to make the Hallon dress by Paradise patterns out of this beautiful fabric from Fabric Godmother. Now, I am a little bit disappointed in this dress. Yeah, it's my fault. It's not the pattern's fault. Basically, what I did was I thought it was just one pattern, and you could choose to have a ruffle on the bottom of the dress or not. I will put an image of the pattern up here for you so you know what I'm talking about. So I went full steam ahead, printed the pattern out, looked at the sizing, cut out my size according to my measurements, etc. And I thought I didn't want the ruffle on, I just wanted the long floaty breezy dress. And yeah, sewed it up, tried it on and thought, what is going on here? So basically I cut out the size 10 B cup, and what I found is that although it fits me absolutely fine across the bust, you can see it's got this ultra low back at the back, it fits me fine across the bust. It is a little bit gapey here, but also if I stand up you'll see it is really fitted around the hips, and I thought, what have I done? Because this dress is supposed to be wide and floaty. Then I realised that actually there are two designs in this pattern. So one is a hip skimming dress with side splits, which is the version I've put on for you today, and the other version was the one that I wanted to make, the one with the ruffle that was wide and floaty. Yeah, but I'd already made this, so I had to go back to the drawing board because I really wanted this dress for my holiday, but I knew the hip skimming one wasn't really what I wanted for my holiday, only because I just wanted the loose breeziness, floaty. It is 30 degrees here in Yorkshire today. I know that is, you know, unbelievable, but trust me, it is. And I'm already getting really hot and bothered in this dress speaking to you guys. So I can't wait to take it off, if I'm honest. I'm wearing it braless as well, which I am sort of, you know, I'm not massively busted. I would say I'm probably just average bust. And, you know, I've got the mum tum, which I don't really want to show off, even though I've got sucky in pants on. I don't really want to show that off in all its glory in a fitted dress. So, yeah, and I've got a few little drag lines here, as you can see. So, unfortunately, this dress doesn't fit right. So, this dress comes in a B cup and a D cup. And I'm not a D cup, and I am sort of a B to C cup really. So I thought the B cup would be fine, but as I say, the size 10, I've got too much gapage here. So I reprinted the pattern and I did the D cup size and went down to a size 8 because I thought that would probably work better. I mean, the bust darts and everything hit me at the right point, even though I've got no bra on. And then I went hunting in my stash for another fabric to make the version that I actually wanted in the first place for my holiday, and made it up. So let me just grab it and I will show you. Right then, so the lovely Gabrielle from Cloth Edit has started her own subscription boxes, and a couple of months back she did one called House of Z, which was inspired by Zimmerman, and I'm a huge Zimmerman fan. They're an Australian designer, I think, and yeah, they just have the most amazing clothes. Very expensive. So unfortunately I couldn't get one of her subscription boxes by the time she launched because of the difference in time zones. Obviously Gabrielle is in Australia, we're in the UK. They'd all gone and I was gutted, but she did get another colourway in of the fabric that was in those boxes and offered me a cut of it, which was awesome. So I received this fabric, and when I pulled it out I thought this is going to be perfect for the Hallon. So I remade the Hallon, and here she is in this beautiful yellow Japanese cotton. It's just divine, absolutely divine. This version is a size 8 D cup, and I actually think after making this that what I need is a size 8 B cup, because there is a bit too much fullness just in the front, and you'll see that on probably on some of the images that I will put in. I will put some pictures in, because I wore this dress absolutely loads. And I think I mentioned this, if you watched our Northern Soul Sisters live that we did on Saturday night, I talked a little bit about this dress in that. We talked a bit about body image and what we like to wear, what we feel comfortable wearing, but what might always to others not look as aesthetically pleasing. And I'm a huge sort of fan of, well, I vary between feeling comfortable and looking stylish. I want both, and I know that's always difficult to achieve, isn't it? I know that from the images that I took, because I took loads of pictures when I was on holiday of all the clothes that I made, so that I didn't have to come home and throw everything on and take new pictures, etc. I thought it would be great for this vlog, which I'm so pleased I did that. But I know, looking back at those images, that this is not the most flattering style on me. But you know what? I wore this dress absolutely loads on holiday. It was great to throw on over my swimming costume and bikini. I put it on to go down to breakfast in the morning. I put it on to go shopping and just for little walks along the beach, etc. It was a staple, and I absolutely love it, and I'm definitely going to make more. So this fabric is absolutely stunning. As you can see, I did end up putting the ruffle on the bottom. I made another massive error with this dress, in the fact that you can see it's a directional print with the flowers going, you know, pointing in the right direction, obviously. But what I did was I cut out the back piece, because it's got this deep scoop, as you can see, and this version has all the gathering into the back, which takes in a lot of the excess, which obviously this version doesn't. You can just see that there. And I made a massive error in that when I put the back pattern pieces on the fabric, I cut it out and then realised it was the wrong way around. Yeah, big rookie error there. And I was gutted, because I thought, oh, I don't believe I've just done that. And wondered if I would have enough to obviously cut those pieces out the right way around, plus get the front piece out and all the flounce pieces as well. So what I ended up having to do was the flounce pieces at the bottom, you cut the front piece on the fold and the back piece on the fold. I had to piece them, so they were in like 6 pieces or something out of remnants of the back piece, so that I could get this dress out of it. But it worked, and I am super happy with it. I absolutely love it. As I say, I know that it's, you know, it is a very distinctive style. The low back is not for everybody. I actually bought one of those stick-on bras because I didn't think I could go braless, and I didn't use it, to be honest, because, you know, it was fine. I went braless and I didn't care. that was that. But I know this design is not for everybody. Lots of women would not feel comfortable either going without a bra or having such a low back. And, you know, I just think, well, when you're on holiday, those sort of rules go out of the window a bit, don't they? And we tend to will wear things on holiday that we wouldn't necessarily wear here in the UK, walking down, you know, nipping into Tesco's or whatever. So I wouldn't wear this nipping into Tesco's. Just saying that. So, but for a holiday dress, it's absolutely gorgeous and I love it. And I will definitely make more of the wider style. As I say, I'm gutted about this version because this fabric is beautiful, and that is the version that I wanted out of this dress, and I'm absolutely gutted. They do still have this fabric for sale on Fabric Godmother website. Well, I'm saying they do. The last time I looked actually was a couple of weeks ago, so they might not now, but yeah, I am a bit gutted, but I'm planning to lose weight. I say that, you know, in a light-hearted way, and my hips will go down again and get rid of these drag lines, and then this will probably work okay for me. And then, yeah, I'll get some wear out of it at that point, I think. At the minute, I don't have the confidence to wear this version of this dress out in public. I did take it on holiday with me. I didn't wear it, mainly because it just wasn't loose enough for me. As I say, it's very loose around the top, but not loose enough around the hips. And with the low back and the fitted over the hips, it was just, I didn't have the confidence to go for that. So a bit disappointing, but I did have some of this fabric left over, which I made the Bailee shorts out of. So let me grab those and I'll show you how they look. So the Bailee shorts are a Tessuti pattern, and I was drawn to this pattern, I'll put an image here, because they have an elasticated waist, so it's, you know, ease when you're on holiday and you're hot and bothered. And also they've got like a flared leg as well, but still fairly fitted, so that, you know, that's perfect for me, for those of us that have got more meaty thighs. I really appreciate that, so let's just say that. So I was toiling this pattern from some leftover cotton that I had in my stash from an old project, and I did toile in the size, I think I started with a size 12 waist and graded to a 16 hip, because that's what my measurements were putting me into. And when I tried them on, I didn't get as far as actually inserting the elastic through the waistband, because when I had constructed the full shorts, I pulled them up in front of me and oh my, they were just, I knew they were going to be far too big. So I did quickly try them on without the elastic and just thought, oh, these are just, you know, far too big. So I looked at the pattern again and I thought, I'm just going to go down to the straight size 12 and go for it. And because I had some of this fabric left over, I thought, you know what, I'll just do the straight size 12. I think that's probably going to work for me and work well. And I made them up, and here they are. Now the pattern does have little side splits at the outside leg. I omitted that because I'm not a fan of little side splits, if that makes sense. So I just omitted that totally and just sewed up the outer hems completely. The hems are faced as well. A lot of Tessuti patterns, rather than having a turn up hem, have like a hem facing, and I really like it actually. I think it's a really nice finish. It gives you a nice deep sort of hem. It gives a bit of extra weight to the hem so that they hang nice. They've got these gorgeous little pockets at the side, and Tessuti instructions for doing pockets are slightly different to side seam pockets that you see in other patterns, and they always give you a really nice, neat, professional finish, and I really love how they do it. So got these lovely little pockets, and you have a triple stitched triple stitched waistband with some top stitching that top stitches down the seam inside, that's the word, yeah. So I constructed these mostly on my overlocker, even though obviously it's a woven fabric. The size 12 is perfect for me. I find this a lot with Tessuti patterns, that they generally are very generous fitting, and I generally have to size down quite a lot. So yeah, the straight size 12 fits me absolutely perfect. And I didn't wear these on holiday either, and the reason for that was only because I didn't have a top that went with them, or a top that I could find when I was frantically packing the night before we were going away. I'd had a busy week. So these were supposed to be a toile anyway. Well, obviously the cotton was supposed to be a wearable toile, but then I re-toiled them in this, and I've got a gorgeous pair of shorts here that I can wear. Now I'm home, I just need some little tops, plainish I think, that will work with these. I haven't got a picture of me in these, but I have got a picture in my other Bailee shorts, which I will grab and show you. So if you remember, I had this gorgeous green leaf print linen fabric that I got from Stitch Fabrics that is a D&G print, and it's not in stock anymore, I'm afraid. It just went really quickly, but I had a big 3-meter piece of this, and the plan was that once I'd toiled the Bailee shorts, knew they fit me, I was going to make them up again in this fabric. And I wanted to make a little shirt to match, to make like a little cord set. So I made these in a size 12, exactly the same as the fabric Godmother fabric, and these, honestly, I got these made up in probably about an hour and a half, really quick. Absolutely love them. They are so gorgeous. And when I mentioned in my plans vlog that I wanted to make a little top to match, Adele from Sofa Serenity messaged me and she said, have you thought about the Arkie shirt that goes with these pants? And that was the image that's on the image of the shorts pattern. And I said, no, I haven't actually. And so I bought that pattern and I made it up. And this wasn't on my plans, obviously, because I wasn't quite sure at the time whether I was going to go for like the Helen's Closet Gilbert or something like that. But anyway, I bought the Arkie and I made it up. And here is my Arkie shirt. So again, this is a Tessuti pattern. This one I made in fact, let me just put it on the hanger and you'll probably see it a little bit easier. So this one I made up in a size 10. Yeah, a size 10. And it's still oversized on me. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I really love it. So you've got a collar and lapel. And then I have these beautiful buttons, which are from Pigeon Wishes, which I think work so well with this shirt and this fabric. Hopefully you can see those. They're absolutely gorgeous. So they were from my stash, and I put a little label in from Kylie and the Machine, I think it is. And yeah, inside, now having made the Donny shirt by Friday Pattern Company, I don't think the inside finish on this is as clever as the Donny shirt, if I'm honest, but I will show you it inside out so you can see what the finish is like inside. It's not a yoke. It doesn't have a yoke on it, this shirt, as you can see. I did do it on my overlocker, but you've got like a lapel facing which goes all the way down the front, and if I just turn the collar up, you can see the collar, how it fits around there, and then basically you turn under the top of the lapel facing and you just stitch it to your shoulder seam on both sides. So it was, you know, the instructions were absolutely fantastic. The other thing I liked about this shirt instructions as well is on the lapel, it has what's called a break point. Now, those of you that have done a lot of shirt making, tailoring, will understand what a break point is. I've heard the term before, but I didn't really sort of understand what it meant. And basically, it is a point in the lapel where you snip almost to the seam that you've sewn, and it allows the lapel to fall back out and sit nicely. And the instructions tell you to understitch the lapel on the right side of the fabric, or sort of the facing side, the outward facing side of the fabric to the break point from the top down, and then you turn it over and do understitch on the other side for the rest of the lapel. So that means then that it just really does lay nice and flat when it is fully constructed, and you've got the understitching on the lapel under there, but underneath, because it's obviously falling back, but then it's actually under the rest of the front button-up seam. So it's very clever, and I was really impressed with it. So again, it was a fairly quick pattern to do. I will put an image up here that I shared on Instagram. I wore this cord set to come home in from, you know, from the airport, and when on the plane to come home from Portugal on the plane, and it was just the perfect traveling outfit in warm weather. I absolutely loved it, especially the elastic waist as well. It meant, you know, for the bathroom trips in the airport, it was easy. Yeah, great on the plane, great when we landed back in the UK. Probably not in winter time, I would say, but certainly this time of year it was a lovely traveling set. And when I put this up on Instagram, so many people just absolutely loved it. Even Tessuti themselves, yeah, this is my golden moment here. Even Tessuti themselves messaged me and asked if they could share it. And I was like, oh my word, I have arrived. Yeah, anyway, that was the Bailee shirt, and no, the Arkie shirt and Bailee shorts. Love them both. We'll definitely make another set, absolutely, because it's such a useful, versatile cord. And a cord set is not something that I've ever really been interested in before. It's never been my thing, I guess. So next up, I mentioned that I was going to be making a swimsuit for my holiday, and the pattern that I'd chosen to make was the Marley swimsuit by Edgewater Avenue. And this is a swimsuit that has an asymmetric design. It's got one shoulder with a big cutout, so it's only actually attached to the bottoms on one side, and it has a bit of a cheeky bottom fit, but yeah, and it's fully lined which means, and the way it's lined means it is reversible as well. So if you wanted to, you could use a different fabric for the lining and you'd have a fully reversible swimsuit, which is awesome. I didn't choose to do that. I chose to just make the lining out of the same fabric as the outer. I'm going to have problems showing you this because I'm not putting it on to show you, but I'll try my best. So you've got, obviously this is the top bit here, and then the bottom bit is there, if that makes sense. So I use this gorgeous remnant of lycra spandex that I got. No, that's not right, is it? It'll be poly spandex, nylon spandex, I don't know anyway, but this lycra fabric from Walton's. And yeah, I use it to make the top, and the bottoms are also made out of black lycra that I got from Walton's as well, and that's the back. So you can see with the cut there, you would initially think that's the front. It's not. That's the back. It's a little bit cheeky, and the front is higher than the back of the top. You can just see the back there, so you can't actually wear this the other way around because the front and back of the top piece are different. But I actually got these the wrong way around as well. If you look at the pattern image compared to this, because I'm holding this with the front showing you, it is the wrong way around, but you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? I guess I made the size XL in this, and I added in 1/2 inch to the top and another 1/2 inch to the bottom to lengthen it, because I wasn't sure what height this was drafted for. And usually with swimsuits, the most problems I have is that they tend to be not quite long enough in the body for me. So I added those measurements to the pattern pieces and it's absolutely perfect. I love this swimsuit. It's gorgeous. I felt really supported in it. I also added in a piece of power mesh just along the front here, just to try and hold the mum tum in a little bit more. And it doesn't actually have any elastic around this waist bit here or the bottom of the top bit here, so that just actually sits on your stomach, which, you know, when you've got a little bit of excess tissue there, excess skin and whatnot there, you don't want anything really digging in and giving you that muffin vibe, do you? So it worked quite well for me, to be honest. Now I did put a picture on Instagram, sort of me wearing it, as with the confidence that I could, to put my picture in a bikini on social media, shall we say, and I'll put that here so you can see it in the flesh, so to speak. But I'm afraid that's as good as you're going to get, but just trust me, it was a really good sew. It's actually very quick as well. And the other thing that Edgewater Avenue do is they do YouTube tutorials for all their patterns. So there was a couple of steps that I couldn't quite get, which I just quickly looked at the tutorial and then it made sense to me, and otherwise I didn't need to use it to sew the rest of it up. But yeah, really good pattern. We'll definitely try more of their patterns when I've lost a little bit of weight, I think. Okay, moving on. I wanted to make a caftan for my holiday, and the pattern that I chose to make was the Charlie by Closet Core Patterns. So this pattern has been out for a few years now, and I know lots of people have made it. And I made the maxi version with the gathered front, if that makes sense, into that little sort of welt panel at the front with the ties that tie around the back, and it's got the lovely side splits. I have made this pattern once before, a few years ago, and it was a disaster. I chose the wrong fabric completely. It was a really lightweight, inexpensive viscose, and it just didn't work at all, and that ended up in the bin. I never wore it. And yeah, I decided that I was going to try this pattern again for my holiday. And again, I chose a beautiful fabric that I bought from Cloth Edit, which is another one of her gorgeous Japanese cottons. It's like a textured finish to it, but it's really lightweight, in between a cotton voile and a cotton lawn, I would say. And here she is. So this is my beautiful Charlie. So you can see this beautiful fabric here, and you can see the texture of it. It's really lightweight, as I say. It's got like that burnout effect, so you can see my hand moving behind there. And you've got this front welt bit here with the ties that are sewn into it at the edges, and then you've got this lovely gathering at the front. Does have pockets, which are here. They are very deep pockets actually, but I made a massive error with the pockets in that I didn't put the notches on the side seams when I cut the pattern out, and I just guessed where to put the pockets. Slap my hand. Pockets are a little bit low, shall we say, but you know, it's fine, it's not the end of the world. As I say, it's got these gorgeous side splits here, which again, I forgot that it had side splits and sewed up and overlocked the sides and had to undo that and put the side slits in, which, yeah, we won't go there. And it has a facing at the front, and yeah, I absolutely love it. Now, I will say that this welt at the front, because it is like doing a welt, let me just say that, and I think that's why so many people have issues with it, is not the easiest of things to do. And obviously when I've attacked this pattern with a few more years of sewing under my belt, I'm a lot more experienced than I was when I made this the first time around. And I will say that I still find this a little bit awkward to do. The instructions are good, but the whole point of this and the instructions, how they tell you to make this, is so that you don't get any puckering at these edges. And I have major puckering at this edge. I think it is there. You can't really see it purely because I've used a very busy fabric. Oh, and I've got some puckering there, look, can you see? Yeah, that's the one where I've got loads of puckering. I did consider unpicking and trying to get that perfect. However, as I say, this fabric is really lightweight and it's so beautiful, and I didn't want to make a mess of it. And I thought, you know what, can I live with it? Yes, I can, because it's such a busy print, I can get away with it. And when this is tied and cinched in round my back, you don't see the puckering at all. So I can live with that. But obviously that's something to bear in mind if you do decide to make this pattern and you choose a fabric with a much more scattered print, or even a plain fabric. You really will have to get that perfect or it will show. The other thing about this pattern is this facing as well. I think this facing is really narrow. Now it is understitched and I've clipped into it all the way around, but it's still only just lies flat, shall I say. And I think some of that is because of the fabric choice that I've made. I think if you went for a viscose or something a bit heavier weight than this, you'd probably have a bit of a job getting it to lay flat. And I would deepen this facing if I made this again. I just think that that's not deep enough for the back neckline of a pattern. And yeah, that's just my opinion personally, but otherwise I love it. It's a really, really beautiful dress. I will put a picture of me wearing that here. I did wear this on holiday, probably not as much as I anticipated, and I think because there's a lot of fabric there and it was really hot when we were out in Portugal. Some days it was 34 degrees and it was just too hot for me to have that much fabric. So but yeah, as a cover up, I mean, I wore it to go to breakfast in the hotel in the morning, and later on at night when it was cooler as well, I put it on, and it was, yeah, it was lovely. So there are other caftan patterns that I would like to try, and yeah, but it's a nice pattern and I'm really, really happy with the finished dress. So moving on to the rest of the dresses, I wanted to make another Tammy Handmade Raymond dress. Now I have made this dress before last year and I loved it. And I had this really gorgeous linen fabric that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. It was advertised as linen, and yeah, I thought it would be beautiful as the Raymond. So here she is. I made a decision that I was going to leave off the bottom tier. So this has just got 2 tiers, but essentially you've got a sort of square neckline, front and back. The front and back pattern pieces are identical, so it is designed to be a loose fit because there is no shaping in that. And then you've got tie shoulder straps that are quite wide, which means you can wear a bra under it if you so wish. You've got a lovely little sort of ruffle detail between each tier, and it's super pretty. Now, what I will say is that this is not 100% natural fibre. And the reason I know that is because I wore this a couple of times to breakfast in Portugal, and I was absolutely overwhelmed with feeling hot and sticky, and this was sticking to me. So there is definitely some polyester content in here. There has to be, because it just did not feel like my other linen fabrics, put it that way. So if you remember, I wanted to save some fabrics. I wanted to make a Saguaro top by Friday Pattern Company alongside this. I haven't got an image of me wearing this actually, because I just didn't want to wear it anymore, if I'm honest, because it was just too hot and sweaty, which is a shame because it's such a lovely print. I did end up making the Saguaro top, but I'm having problems with this top, I have to say. I've made it twice now and I still haven't got it right to fit me. So this is the top that I made here. I made it, I didn't actually take it on holiday with me because I tried it on and I just had too much muffin going on. let's just say that. So this is a size medium to large, I think it is. And yeah, I think what I need to do, to be honest, is I need to take out the elastic at the hem. I have lengthened it because obviously it's a very cropped top and I do really like this, but the waist is just too tight on me. I need to take this out, but it is top stitched down in 2 places, so it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to take out. But I'm going to take the elastic out and I'm going to put bigger elastic in, because I don't want it that tight around my midriff. If I was perfectly toned, it would be fine, but it's not. So that's twice I've made this top now and not got the waist bit right, but I am going to persevere with it. But yes, this didn't end up going on holiday with me because I knew I wouldn't wear it. So that one is on the back burner for now. But yes, that fabric, as I say, it was advertised as linen, but there's definitely some polyester in it because it just was too hot on holiday to wear it. So apologies, I don't have any images of me wearing that one, but I will go and grab my other Tammy handmade dress to show you. So I also mentioned that I wanted to make the Tammy handmade Rhea dress, and I was going to make this out of the beautiful paisley viscose that I got in my very first Beyond the Pink Door Think Pink subscription box, and here she is. So I adore this fabric. I just think it is such a beautiful fabric for a holiday. This is a V-neck front and back strappy sundress with thin rouleau straps, and then you've got gathering into the bodice, and then you've got another little tier at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that very well. There you go. And it's designed to be sort of between your knee and midi length. I will put some pictures in again of me wearing this. This fabric was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I have put a little bit of weight on. Well, I've put a lot of weight on, to be honest, and did find that this was just a little bit too fitted around my bust. Again, I wore this without any bra on because I just didn't need to wear a bra with it at all. I did think of wearing a strapless bra, but you could see the outline of the strapless bra through this because of how fitted it was. So I just took the bra off and wore it strapless. No, wore it braless. And yeah, I love it though. It's really, really lovely. So I just need to, if I make this, I mean, I will make more of these dresses because they are gorgeous for summer. They're nice and loose, and I just need to either lose that little bit of weight so it fits me a little bit better, or go up a size probably and just put a bit more ease in it for next time. The bodice is fully lined. It's lined with the self fabric, and I did put a little label in the back. Look, yes, these labels are from Arkie, and I got gifted a pack of them from First of Fabrics after Layla was born. And yeah, I was really happy to put one of those in that dress because it's gorgeous. So yes, image will have been put in here so you can see how that looks on me. And yeah, gorgeous dress, absolute staple summer dress that I would be delighted to make again. So I've got 3 more dresses to show you and then we're done, okay? These 3 dresses I had no intention of making, so they weren't actually featured in my holiday plans, but I'm going to show you them anyway. The last vlog that went up last week when I was on holiday was about 5 summer dresses that you might never have seen before, and one of them was this dress, which I did end up making before I went on holiday, and it is the Violette dress by Tint of Mint Patterns, and here she is. I chose this fabric, which is a lovely viscose fabric from Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn, and I thought I'd use this as a 12 for this dress because I really loved the gingham. It's a navy and white gingham, and it's got fruit and, yeah, fruit all over it basically. We sort of ended up calling this the tomato dress, did me and Martin, because he's convinced they're tomatoes, although I said everything else on here is fruit. We've got cherries and, is it oranges, lemons, sorry, and bananas, etc. I said, so why would they be tomatoes? I'm sure they're going to be apples, but anyway, this is the tomato dress. So what you've got is a lovely sort of ruched at the front, bustier style neckline with tie straps again, and then it's more empire line. You've got gathered into the empire line and then a little tier at the bottom, very similar to how the Raymond dress is. No, the Rhea dress. Yes, the Rhea dress. And then at the back you've got another little sort of lower panel that does cover your bra if you wanted to wear a bra with it. I didn't. And you've got an elastic channel that elastic goes through at the top and also at the bottom as well. So there's very little actual fitting involved. Now, I really like this dress. This is full maxi length. I'll put some pictures in of me wearing it, and I also entered this into the So Fruity 23 challenge run by Blossom Sandwich. That's the lovely Yvette over on Instagram. I will leave a link to that challenge down below if you're interested. So yes, I've entered this dress into that challenge, and it's the first Tint of Mint pattern that I've ever made. I'd never heard of this designer before, but she does have some really lovely designs on her website. I'll leave a link to it down below so you can go check her out. I found the instructions absolutely fine. I will say that there were a couple of things that I would probably do differently. The straps are the same length, so obviously you've got 4 straps because they tie at the top, so you've got 2 that attach to the front, 2 that attach to the back, but they are the same length. And the problem with that, I found, is that where they attach at the front is up here, and then where they attach at the back is more down here, so they're unequal height, if that makes sense, when you tie them. So really the back straps need to be longer, so I would alter that for my next version. And the other thing that I found a little bit awkward was regarding the elastic at the back of this dress. So I mentioned that you've got like 2 channels here to insert elastic, and she doesn't give you a length of elastic to use per size that you're making. She just tells you that she used however many centimeters for the size 8, and then you have to just decide yourself what length you need, which I found a little bit yeah, I think really that was a little bit strange, to be honest. I ended up, I think I made the size 12 or 14. I think it might have been the 14 actually. And I ended up adding on probably about 7 centimeters from the length that she told you that she made for the size 8. So yeah, I think for a professional pattern, you know, it's really important to give measurements of elastic lengths for every size that you're offering that pattern for, rather than expecting people to just work it out for themselves. That would be my only criticism, but otherwise it was a really lovely sew and I really enjoyed wearing it. And on top of that, she does have a YouTube tutorial as well for her pattern, which is just great. So if there's any points where you are stuck, you can refer to that. I didn't need it, to be honest. It was a fairly straightforward sew for me. Right, moving on. I also made a Tessuti Lois dress. Now, I have made this dress before, and the reason I decided to make it for my holiday was a bit of a last minute decision in the week leading up to us going away, and that was because I'd worn my previous version that week. You know, when you're sort of trying to save all your nice clothes for your holiday and you're digging out old things out of your wardrobe. It was one of those situations, and I loved wearing it so much that I thought, wouldn't it be nice to make a viscose version for my holiday? That would be a really nice sort of evening dress to wear. The version that I've made before was made out of linen. So yes, I haven't actually made a viscose version before. So I pulled some fabric out of my stash and decided to make it up. So here is my Lois dress. So this is a absolutely beautiful Lady McElroy lightweight viscose challis that I had in my stash, and I lengthened the pattern by about 4 inches because I wanted to make this full midi length. With Tessuti patterns, I don't generally have to lengthen them much, but I know from my linen version it only just hits me below my knee, you know, that point where it feels a little bit frumpy, and that's my only disappointment with that version. And so I didn't want to have that with this. I knew I wanted to make it midi length, much like the pattern inspiration. So I added 4 inches to make this the right length, and it's perfect, absolutely perfect. It's got a little side zip and it comes into this lovely sort of V point at the center front. It is, I mean, some people find this fairly low cut. I actually find it absolutely fine. I think because I don't have, you know, I'm not really well endowed in the bust department, but it's not a problem for me. But I totally appreciate women who, you know, do have a larger bust might feel a little bit more exposed, should I say, with this particular style. I fully lined the bodice on this version. The pattern has you use self-bias binding to bind the neckline, but I felt because this is quite a lightweight viscose, and with it being in a light colour, I just felt to give it a little bit more structure at the top, that it would be better to be fully lined. So I figured that out myself. I essentially just cut out 2 identical front and back bodice pieces, and then if I turn it inside out, I can show you how it's attached inside. It was fairly straightforward. It didn't leave me scratching my head, and I think I just had to, yeah, there is a bit of ignore the interfacing. I know it looks a bit messy, but I was in a bit of a rush when we were going on holiday. So I just ended up hand stitching it down inside around the front, and the same at the back. You do use, the instructions do have you use interfacing along the bias part of the front so it doesn't stretch, and the same at the back as well, so that it just, you know, it keeps it nice and taut basically, and it doesn't stretch out when you're wearing it. But you know, you could use stay stitching instead, that would work equally well. I'll put a couple of pictures in of this dress being worn, and yeah, I absolutely love it. I love this style on me. I think it really suits and flatters my shape and my figure, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So that's my Lois dress. And then finally, this was literally 5:30 the day before we were going on holiday. I suddenly decided, you know what, shall I just whip up another dress quickly before we go away? You know what I'm like. And I thought about making just like a very simple boob tube style jersey dress that had shirring across the top, a little bit loose, shirring around the waist, midi length. I thought it's not going to, you know, I didn't have a pattern, but I thought it's just going to be a couple of rectangles, isn't it? It's not going to take long. It didn't take long. It took me about an hour and a half, to be honest. So here it is. I just pulled up this lovely jersey. It's just a cotton jersey from my stash, which has got little birds and leaves and all sorts on it. And it was literally a rectangle for the top, big rectangle for the bottom. And I did the shirring around the top there, and again around the waist. I think I did 5 rows for the top and 7 for the waist. It's perfect. Image here. Yeah, and I actually thought it would be a really nice, you know, thing to use up those little scraps of jersey that you've got that you don't really know what to do with, but you could make, you know, omit the skirt bit obviously, and just make the little boob tube tops that you could wear with a strapless bra, or braless if you don't need to, with shorts and skirts and things on holiday. It's great holiday wear, isn't it? Something really quick and simple. It gets rid of the tan lines, doesn't it? So that's it. I've been going 45 minutes, oh my word. If you've got to the end of this, then well done, you deserve a prize. overall, I would say, you know, I'm happy with everything that I made. There's just those couple of things, as I say, the Saguaro top I still need to work on. And this version of the Hallon dress is probably not my favourite for me, for my personal shape at the moment, and for, you know, hot weather basically. But otherwise, everything else was perfect. Most things I wanted just to be loose and flowy, because I feel the cold really quickly, but when it's hot I get over hot very quickly as well, and I just want loose flowing clothes to feel comfortable. So with that in mind, because it's so hot today, I'm going to sign off for now so I can go get out of this dress and put my shorts back on. But I hope you're enjoying the sunshine wherever you are, if you have sunshine like we do today. And I hope you've enjoyed looking at what I made for my holiday and looking at my photos as well. Thank you if you did comment or leave me a like on any of those images that I put up on Instagram while we were away last week. I really do appreciate it. It was lovely to see everybody's comments. And let me know down below which of these dresses or tops or outfits or whatever you like and that you'd consider making yourself if you haven't already. I'd love to hear about it. Take care of yourselves, and I will be back with you soon. Bye bye.